Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to EU5. And today I have something that hopefully is going to go better than some of our previous runs. That's right, today we are looking at Ethiopia, the Lion of Africa, the Christian kingdom surrounded by, oh boy, everybody but more Christians in a very culturally diverse region. Really, there's not an insane amount going for Ethiopia. Besides, well, two things. One, we start with Kawa barracks, which give us a trickle of manpower, similar to, I believe, the Korean barracks. And yes, we do have access to some cities up in the north in Aksum. So we are not entirely isolated economically. However, on that note, as we load into Ethiopia, pretty well everything else is going against us. For example, the terrain of our region, we are bisected by a mountain range, completely the wrong way too. Like, it's one thing if half of your country is on the left side and half your country is on the right, but we're the long way down a mountain range, which makes pushing any meaningful form of proximity up not happening. And also, we start technically as an empire, Ethiopian empire, which gives us a little bit of prestige, a little bit of great power store, and I think also access to an extra local governor much earlier. So, right away, we're going to want to get somebody to control up in Aksum, so we actually get value out of that. Maybe even move our population around. But otherwise, actually getting cities set up in this region of relatively low development, because you can see there's not a lot of low development, or there's not a lot of towns or cities. There is a decent amount of population, especially if you head up towards Sudan. You get into some really nice population. But I digress. We also have, where are our IGOs like? We have some stone, some iron, a little bit of lumber. We're kind of light on lumber. Yeah, we are quite light on lumber. That's going to be a major issue. However, probably most valuably, we have coffee, which, oh boy, coffee. Um, yeah, this is going to be unique. Oh, yes, and all of these cultures. And how do we feel with the cultures? We tolerate a lot of them, but none of them to an insane amount. Well, I guess the benefit is a lot of them are in the Ethiopian group, so we can accept them very cheaply. But yeah. So religiously isolated, culturally we're a mess. Economically, we're kind of stunted because we can only make use of this half of the country at the moment. But we have a lot of potential. There's population, there's stuff. So first, we are going to accept Tigrayan and Gawang too, because I think I just need as many people in content as possible. Yeah, because our core is actually incredibly limited. Wow. We have some vassals in the south, and we are allied to you, or are you my vassal? I collect tribute. Are you guys just tributaries instead of actually vassals? Okay, no. Dwaro, Hidya, and Bale are actually valued vassals. Ifat and Naria are tributaries. Interesting. Okay, so I'll take Bale and I will just give them some southern territory so I don't have to deal with it. And I will give Dwaro some southern land as well, just because there's no way I'm going to push control all the way down there anyway, so I may as well get rid of it. I think I want to get rid of Dwaro sooner than later. There's a lot of land right on my capital door with decent terrain. So yeah, you're definitely one of the first to go. And all the population then is wrong culture, but I'll deal with that when I get to it. Up north, I'm gonna try and get a. There's not a road. No, there's not a road, and theoretically, that road going all the way down into my capital would cost something like 1.6K. So getting a local governor up there is going to be quite difficult. For reforms, we will give ourselves autocracy. We will give ourselves autocracy and agricultural cultivation. My nobility, we're going to try and not piss off the nobility too bad. The clergy is going to be very important. We will give them expansionist saltry, embellish great wakes of faith, and at some point, I think I will pick up promote cultural unity, but I'm going to choose not to for the moment. The burghers, I'm going to give them trade, market sponsorship, building rights, treasury rights, and urban development grants. And for the peasants, I am just going to give them free mobility of the common people. The nobility are really pissed off. I was worried that could be an issue. We're just going to give the nobility auxilium et consilium. Hopefully that will pacify them enough, and if I get somebody on improving relations with them, it'll be fine. Economically, we are slightly in the hole. Turn off the fort maintenance, more in cost of court, automate taxing most people. Wow, that really didn't do much. And still, like half of my stuff isn't actually integrated. I might release another vassal in the north. The historical county of Ederantha as a fiefdom. As funny as it would be to release the county of Simeon, I don't think I'm going to release Beta Israel. We are very deep in the hole. I really can't afford a lot of these forts. So we will go over to our castles and rip down the least important ones. Oh boy, that really isn't a lot of things to rip down. We'll get rid of like those two. To actually fix our economy, our capital is not in an urban location. In fact, the nearest urban location is completely out of our proximity reach. So our capital is going to be moving at some point. I just can't tell you when. In fact, it would even be better if our capital was at least on a city or on a mountain, because then we would have better proximity through mountains, because that was a change in 1.2. Not the most important thing. And one other thing I want to see while looking at Ethiopia is... Yes, okay, we do have a series of historical events. Presumably, we're gonna just exist with these as they happen. I don't know that much about... what these will do. I don't think there's going to be anything crazy happening here. But hey, say la vie. For our cabinet, good news, we have a whole lot of kids. Bad news, we really don't have that anyone to marry them off to. Go integrate the land down south. Go and get me control up near Tigray. And what are we going to do with you? Well, considering that most of the country is not my culture, correct? No, okay, most of the country is my culture, it's just they're all in the mountains. And we accept the north and we accept the south, we just don't accept the ones with the cities. Interesting. Is my capital the right culture at least? Mostly. I suppose I will work on culturally converting over my capital, at least, or the rest of my capital region, and just work on spreading it. Actually, how are we doing religiously? Are we united? No, we're also split on Sunnism. Sunnism. All right, so we'll start actually religiously converting, because I think we'll have an easier time with that. We're probably a very spiritualist country, right? Yeah, well, we're leaning spiritualist. We're actually not that far. Wow. We are a very diverse thing. Yeah, so definitely have to centralize and like stabilize, and then I can worry about pushing outwards, but not beforehand. Um, don't even have enough that I can like make a town in my capital. Yeah, and anything I build up here, the because we're gonna get no control eventually because it's going to go to 20% just because it's a integrated city. Maybe temporarily I move my capital up to Axum, build an economic base there, and then I will like move my capital out to Efat or into the Sudan or the Nubia region, and like the. Speaking of regions, what do I have as a goal for Ethiopia? At the very least, I would like to unite Ethiopia, and actually hold the whole of the Ethiopia region. If I'm feeling ambitious, maybe a little bit of Nubia, maybe unify the Horn of Africa. Ethiopia and Somalia seems very plausible, but I don't want to get mired down in an extremely long game, so we'll see what we're doing. So that's roughly what we're going for here. And I suppose I've prattled on long enough. So let us get on with the game. Okay, so what I've desperately started doing is I'm trying to promote one of my accepted cultures up in here while we still have a reasonable amount of control. Hopefully, this will make Aksum a core, and then I'll be able to move my capital up to an urban location and use it as the base for expansion, as well as hopefully getting the bonus for pushing control through mountains, as there is not much I can take advantage of otherwise. Down here, there's just no real there's nothing for me in the south. So even though it's not Ethiopian, I'm pushing the Tigrayan culture and hoping that that's enough to get it out. Okay, as unfortunate as it is, I just can't afford to hold even this single professional unit, and the Kawa barracks with the Kawa barracks is just bleeding me for something I really can't afford either. So we're gonna just do I demolish it or just close it? Oh, let's just close it for the time being. It's just too expensive. That doesn't fix my problem, but it makes it slightly better. Wow, our starting Parliament laws are actually really good. We open with favor the ruler and itinerant court, which is kind of desperately what I was hoping to get. That means that my control really can't get that much better, though. I guess I will switch over my feudal de jure law to buy blood then, but that really doesn't feel the most impactful. Is there anything else better? Actually, no. We'll flip over to burger control mining operations, see if can't get some of that stuff going early. Uh, yeah, no, that just means that our control and proximity here is indeed very, very piss poor. Because even my potential to push control up here is throttled out, and no amount of proximity or rivers is really going to help me there. I mean, there's some really nice rivers up. I mean, it's the what's that? The Blue Nile. But besides that, in the name of making a little bit of quick cash, and because I have my vassals to do most of the fighting for me, I'm going to deck on Kata and basically let my vassals sort it out, as well as pick up Bazin. Oh, this is awesome. Okay, so we have just gotten Ethiopia, a watering court. Although the capital of Ethiopia has changed over the years due to military needs, it has never been made tradition for rulers to move the courts to different locations. Being closer to where our armies are making a distinction between villages and cities by allowing Nagusa, Nagas, Gebri, by allowing the Nagusa and any further ruler to select their place of ownership, as well as ensuring. Point being, what this actually allows us to do is we can unlock local audiences, which will give us ticking monthly prosperity and plus 20 proximity speed at the cost of autocracy, which sucks but that isn't that good. So yeah, we'll happily make the switch and hopefully. Oh, it didn't even take autocracy. It took my serfdom one. That's awesome. Cool. Yeah, that's fantastic. That hopefully will help us chew down on the mountains a little bit more. And actually getting our capital in the mountains would make it even better. Unfortunately, the ruler has just died, so we have had an opportunity to move the capital. And I was just looking at the choices, and oh boy, they're fantastic. We can put it in Praha, which is, not where we want it, or Zequila, which is right next to where we want it, or Tisana, which is better, actually more central. Still entirely a rural place. Maybe I do that though. I'm gonna, yeah, I'll move it. I'll move the capital up to Sana. I still might change my capital to being Aksum and just keep it in Aksum for forever. Um, but at least Tisana means that we're in mountains and we should have at least a slightly better time at moving through mountains, right? Okay, and Efot has, who was my tributary, has just decked on me for their independence to no longer be my tributary. Um, do I want to fight this? Not really. Go be independent. Yeah, no, go be independent. I don't really care about you. You don't need to be here. All right. Well, that was easy. That could have been bad. Wow. And isn't this a fun event? Pay 200 ducats when I'm losing -2 a month. Or get 20 religious influence, which won't do anything. Well, I guess I'll take the 20 religious influence. Due to our location, I desperately need to take admin ideas for administrative focus for the local infrastructure. A lot of the moves so far feel like they're kind of forced. That's all I can say. Ooh, for some reason, this guy, Bazin, has a bunch of maps of Europe. Okay, I'll loot you for all your maps are worth and your money because maps are valuable. Maps are very valuable to me. If I set on your capital, will that change your mind? Yes, yes, it will. Fantastic. All the maps are worth and 8 ducats. Thank you very much. And it's not too much more, but it lets me see like the outline of southern Italy and whatnot. As for Kata, we are just gonna conquer you and your ducats. Please, thank you. Good day. Wonderful. First successful war. And we are entirely bisecting um, the region. Yeah, with where our capital has ended up in Tisana, we actually can project over most of the country. Still not perfect, but you know, when you're this full mountains, I doubt it ever will be. I would have appreciated if maybe we could have ended up in Lalibela, but say Levy. It's still a little expensive getting through the mountains, even though we have the -20% modifier due to being in mountains. But it does mean that like the city of Aksum, well, I'm improving control, which I will be improving control, can get up to like 60%, and we might actually be able to make a bit of money out of it. So I might urbanize Tasana just to make it as like a temporary town capital. Thanks to getting the tech domain of many tongues, which gives us more culture capacity, I think I'll just go and accept Agwin. Yeah, that's probably the easiest one I can get away with. Now, this will put me. This is not the most efficient use of my culture capacity. Certainly not, but it'll stop me from having to assimilate them on over. At some point, I would like to make the whole region Amahara, but just not in the cards at the moment. Need to actually build up a power base somewhere. And it means that our primary city will actually be a core on the month tick, as well as, oh boy, lots of pop ups. Um, as well as, yeah, all this set of provinces here. We have, this is such a mess of actual cultures. Yes, and look at that. Our beautiful, beautiful cores have updated. We actually are kind of getting unified. Our control is growing, and our proximity to capital is getting better. our city can actually have 80% control, even though somebody's just sitting there increasing our control. Okay, good, good. We're getting somewhere. For our first religious aspect of metaphysitism, I think I just have to take appointment of bishops, right? I mean, what else could I do? Pop assimilation speed wouldn't be terrible either. Translated Bibles is also very good for the literacy. Yeah, let's go with the appointment of bishops and make sure we get some more speed, proximity speed in time. Might change that one out. But I mean, we're stacking stuff so hard that we're almost getting like 82% all the way to the fringes. Don't worry, we're almost overcoming all of those mountain deficits. I mean, if you hover over Axum, look at all of those negatives. Well, actually, we're doing pretty good for how negative all of that is. Of course, now that we actually have a coastline too, there's a couple other laws we have to sort out, such as protecting the trade routes. We will allow slave religion, and we can't afford it, but we will, of course, be anti-piracy when we get the chance. Um, oh, fantastic. And we've just gotten one of the events of all time. Uh, so either the ruler dies on the spot and we get a minor monthly legitimacy buff, or we take a massive stab hit. Um, let's just have the ruler die. See if we get a really good choice for our capital. Lalibela. I was talking about wanting it there. Oh, where's Bahra? Too far south. Colon, still a terrible option. And then Lalibela. Yeah, I think we will put it basically square in Lalibela. Fantastic. That's one way to get my capital there. And are you guys actually still the ruling family? Yes, you are. Fantastic. Well, that's one way to get your capital where you need it. Hopefully we're still able to actually get control over the whole country. More or less. Better control up Taxum. In fact, I'm probably good enough that I can encourage control down south. You know, I'm starting to think if we can ever get off of this mountain, or these mountains, I should say, we have a real good chance at getting some nice control out there. It's just a matter of actually getting it to where it needs to go. Because the whole of the country looks surprisingly good. It's because my capital's been jumping around like a madman, but it looks surprisingly good for a country that is not centralized in the least bit. Even if everything is ticking down against me, our actual reach is surprisingly competent despite the terrain. I'm quite surprised how many events Ethiopia has to really encourage that. Or I say events, it's more like just it's local audiences that's doing it, and decent starting laws. That's the majority of it. And once I get some roads up to actually carry information up and down, again, it won't be perfect, and any ability to actually build development here, because our entire country is bereft of any significant development. I don't know exactly where it happened. Oh gosh. Well, the Black Death has made it to us. But besides, the problems happening up there, um, I don't know how it happened, but we started making money at a decent rate. And I'd be lying if I told you where it all came from. Or I'd be lying if I told you I knew where it all came from. Part of it is trade. I think it's just because we actually have control where we have cities, or, a city and a town, that it started flowing back into us. But I'm thankful for it all the same. Yeah, also the fact that in this town, there's double the amount of people in that city, which is interesting. I guess Aksum got made a city on like merits. I also was just looking around at the RGOs of Ethiopia and noticed there's a wonderfully big pile of gold just sitting out there, waiting to be liberated from the locals. So, I suppose there's no time like the present to start kind of setting up a colonial charter and pushing out towards towards the Sudan, even though we really can't get any control there, and it is decently expensive. The gold RGOs will pay us back in spades over time. And there is a single one location miner sitting on that little island off the coast. That's awesome. Yeah, we're gonna have to kill you at some point, bud. Yes, and the Black Death has in fact finally made it all the way down here. Hopefully, it'll just kind of wipe on over us and not actually stick around if we're lucky. I'm sure that we'll be lucky. I mean, oh gosh, look what it's done to India. Yeah, that's pretty bad. And it is just kind of festering in Aksum, but not actually doing anything. And just like that, it's left, and I'm sure the Black Death will never, ever, ever be another problem. Oh, that is so stupid. This was not how I intended that to turn out. Um, so my vassal, Indrida, had a revolt here of the Afara people. And I thought it was just going to be a minor little revolt. So it turns out Tankali backed that because they're also Farah. So I was just doing a little bit of cleanup. I thought that we would wait peace, and after we sieged that down. But not only did Indreda lose the location that revolted, but somehow got 2 states out of it. Which is so stupid. And now we have this wonderful little bit of border war. But hey, at least that's we got Djibouti, right? That's a good a decent natural harbor in time. And well, I guess that's something. Also, there is no way that Andretta is actually going to be able to control this for 2 reasons. One, it is wrong culture relative to them, and also Sunni faith instead of Mufisitism, which means that that is just going to rise up, and it's going to be my problem. And if it's Sunni rebels that rise up, there's a chance that I'm going to have to fight Ifat or Ajuran thanks to that little fuck up. Dang, yeah, those vassal changes are hitting like a truck, aren't they? Wow. That's going to be 30 years just to integrate them. Oh well, if that's what it takes, that's what it takes. Though for 60,000 pops, that's not the most value I could be getting compared to somebody like Dwaro or Ayadai. Yeah, but I can actually get control over these pops. So you win some, you lose some. For our next key pillar of Miaphysitism, we will go with translated Bibles, as I need that literacy to start picking up even now. I feel like we're going to end up far behind technologically if we're not careful. And that literacy will help offset that a little bit. Oh, good. And the Black Death is over. We lost a whole less than 1,000 pops. Up, and the revolt that I expected to fire has fired. Is anyone joined against us? No, it's just the revolting country. If only I had seen this coming. Let's go and save our subject. Yep, just like that. Fantastic. Go and send half of you to liberate up there, and you to go and oh, can't get through their land, huh? Really, we're doing this. Alrighty. Fine. I'll find a different way to get over there. Sponsor cathedral. Oh, I can't get any parliament support. Oh, you suck. So I can't even get like a war CB? You know what? 1 second. Disband all the levies. No CB war on the Weba. Alrighty, if I can't get through to Weba with military access, which they won't give me, then I will get through to Weba another way. A bit more direct. And now I can go and also siege down the rest of the Afari rebels. So, let's raise everybody we need and go and crush some rebels. And, while we're at it, pick up a bit of free land on the way, really. If it wasn't free, then why is nobody living there? From Nueva, we're going to take their entire state and all of their money. I mean, not that complicated. They really couldn't stop me. And we'll just slap somebody down to start integrating that. And the Indoretta rebels have fallen as well. Um, Fantastic. I was kind of expecting that to go worse than it did, but not going to complain that things are going well. And honestly, we are well on our way to controlling the Ethiopia region. I mean, let's see. This entire area is our vassal, so there's just this state here, or this area here, the rest of the Eritrean coast, a little bit of land along the north coast. Most of this is uninhabited, though. And basically, we just need to pick up Bazin, Baklin, and Jarim, and I'd be very content with that. I think I do want to get over to the Horn of Africa and kind of clean up some of what would be Somalia and Somaliland, but we're working on it slowly yet surely. Now I can hear you screaming, yelling, wondering on the other side of the screen. So what have you been doing while you've been sitting here on 7 speed building up Ethiopia Brown? And let me tell you, I come here to the Axis market, I look at what's in deficit, and if it's an RGO, I try and build it. If it's an item like this, then I go to the buildings tab and go scriptorium, and I build that if it's profitable. And that's what you do. And if you can figure that out, congratulations, you have mastered EU5. It's slightly more complicated than that. If you want to do like some cool stuff, yeah, it gets a little bit funky. But if you can wrap your head around just looking at your primary market and building the most important thing, you've done it. Like, I can see that we have a wool demand mostly because of Weavers Guilds. And Weavers Guilds can either use wool or cotton. So if I want to be cute, well, I have some cotton fields right here that I can upgrade to make my Weaver Guilds more productive. So I would go to upgrade my cotton fields. But I can see that my cotton fields, okay, right now they're at maximum reduced cost of 33%. But sometimes they're not as cheap as possible. So if I look at my cotton fields and go, oh, wow, it costs a bit of money because, or okay, yeah. If I look down at my lumber and go, oh, wow, it's not as cheap as possible because I'm only getting 13% discount instead of the maximum 33% discount in masonry, then I should probably build some more masons and then go and build my lumber. And that's how you get into the weird production chains. Like you'll go, okay, so my cotton is as cheap as possible. Or no, okay, so I want my cotton to be cheap as possible. So I need my lumber to be as cheap as possible. But for my lumber to be cheap as possible, I need to build some masons. And then you go, okay, well, what do masons take? Well, masons eat clay and spit out masonry. However, to eat the clay, let's look at this guy right here. To eat the clay, he also uses tools, doesn't he? I thought you used tools. Am I insane? I guess I'm insane. I thought he also consumed tools. Either way, so to do that, I also build up some iron to build a tool factory. Or not a tool factory. I wish it was a tool factory. A tool guild. And it kind of goes in a circle supplying everything because everything eats a little bit of what it takes to upgrade. That's the game, and the economy just kind of builds. And then there's like stacking development on top of that, and population, and making sure that your props don't starve. But it's kind of a lot of busy work, and it's not. And the game doesn't run fast enough sometimes, so you're just stuck here not making hard decisions. You're just making the same decisions. If you want a genuine critique, that's why. So you know, either way, that's enough of my belly aching. Back to building up the Ethiopian economy. I'll tell you when we have another revolt or minor conquest. Oh yeah, when you look at that sweet, sweet gold province. Now, it is too far away for me to actually get any effective control over. If I look at my proximity to the capital, we're only gonna ever get up to what's the max control? Oh, good, 1.6. Once it stops being colonial, it'll get a little bit better. But either way, we have gold, so that's worth something. Oh boy, and this is now the third vassal revolt, and Yemen just got pulled in. Holy fucking Yemen is huge. There is nothing I can do. Well, I guess I can hope that Yemen fails to come over properly and I have to fight them bit by bit. That's insane. What would it take to get you out of this? They would take my entire vassal. Huh. Okay. Um, well, I didn't plan on fighting Yemen at all, but oh, I have to get rid of this vassal. They're just creating more headaches. I have to run over there and hopefully close off any place for Yemen to land, and hopefully they can't call up a big enough navy to cross everybody they need at once. Fantastic, and yeah, the war ended without any real conflict between the Yemeni and myself. Um, I don't know where all their troops were. I don't know why they didn't decide to bring them across the Red Sea. But oh boy, I'm glad they decided. Wait, I'm sorry. Did I get pieced out? Why? Why is my vassal still fighting? Why did we get you? You white pieced? You fucking oh. Why did my vassal white piece if I won the war and it was sieged down and we were watching everything? Why would you do that? I, why? Okay, well now Yemen has a foothold over here, and they can bring their very large. Yeah, their army is double the size of mine. So if they really wanted to, they could come in and pull me on over. That's unfortunate. There's very little I can do about that, but that's unfortunate. In slightly better news, we're making almost 10 ducats a month, so we're profitable, and the market is growing in value. We're up to almost 110 ducats in value, which is much better than where we were at game start. But oh, that is very frustrating. And our first step into colonizing the African wastes is finished. Now we can worry about cleaning up Shigla. Oh yeah, look at that, those sweet, sweet gold RGOs. And you can already feel, well, I'm assuming it's the minting income. You can already feel the profit, almost up to 10 ducats a month. Now, luckily, we have just finished integrating Doba, and some of that land is instantly cored. Actually, all of it is fantastic. So we'll actually get some decent control out into it. Let's just see here. Yeah, we'll get something like 50 or 60 if we're lucky. Yeah, pretty well. Not that it's, the greatest things in the world, but it's, sugar and livestock and perfectly good RGOs. I'm also just trying to plan out my early urbanization and what it's going to look like. I kind of want to stick to the theme of Ethiopia, that is working with your very mountainous topography. So I'm thinking like maybe we'll use Axum as one of the cores, and we can kind of build out around here. So like Debark would make a decent town for some weavers because there's cotton right there, and Tasana as well, as there's some more cotton right there, and have some really nice big weaving cities. And there's an ample amount of pops, 30,000, nothing crazy, but enough to found something. Obviously, the capital could get turned into kind of just a generic tool city. There's nothing fantastic there. Otherwise, economically, we're doing great. It's very easy to save up to where we have to get to. It's just economic building and slowly assimilating pops over to our culture. Like we've started to make a cultural impact in Agua, or on the Aguan people, and I mean eventually I would like to, culturally make it Amara. In fact, you know what? It'll hurt a little bit. It is going to hurt a little bit, but I am going to remove their acceptance. And actually, I'm going to send it all the way down to not even being tolerated. It'll cost us our cores, but it'll let me convert this over to Amaran much faster. And in the meantime, I'll be able to... what will I do with all this spare? Well, considering it's dirt cheap, I will accept Gonga as well as Beta Israeli, at least to tolerate it. And I will encourage Agua to find someplace else to be. In the short term, this is going to be quite expensive on the cores, considering stuff like, oh, that's great. Technically, my capital is only integrated. However, we're converting people over much faster, and it should only be a handful of years before this is all core Amara clay. Oh, fantastic. And my wonderful little vassal, Vendetta, has had yet another rebellion that has led Yemen onto my shores. Can you tell I regret having that vassal? Because I regret having this vassal. How? Why? Forget the vassal not being dead. This is just annoying. So there is every chance that the Yemeni troops still come over. If they do, shit. There's very little I can do about it. But in the meantime, we just have to try and stomp them out before they get here. And hopefully my vassal does slightly better than just white piecing. But in better news, hey, we just got the Age of Renaissance proximity speed. And again, that just encourages control through our empire to spread even better. Do you remember how red the country was at the start of the game? Look at us now. You know what? Yeah, screw you, Editing Brown. You're gonna have to learn how to do this. Put up a thing of Ethiopia at the start, and now, and make him pretty. Yeah, now make him kiss. Yeah, good luck figuring out how to do that, asshole. Okay, hopefully by transferring all these occupations over to Andretta, the AI is able to figure it out and doesn't just sit there with its thumb up its rear, although I fear that's ever so likely, just based on how the AI can be in this game. So, how much do you want to bet that the second I look away, Yemen is going to show up with the full 40,000 troop levy they have and rain hell upon me? Oh, okay. Okay, we just got pieced out. So how much do you want to bet that for some reason... Oh my god, the AI figured out how to take the land back. In fact, it took everything, and it gave me some ducats. Okay. Okay, life is good. Yemen's back off the African continent. Everything's okay. Huh. Covets your land, huh? I'm okay. Well, that was fun. Hey, all right, back to building up the country economically. Now we do have the option for a promote urbanization, except it is in like a terrible location where I would get absolutely no control. Is there anything really for me down in that area? There's stone, there's copper, but it's just so out of the way. The alternative is I take sponsor theological seminaries, and that would give me some more monthly research progress, which would be nice. But I really am not. Well, I could always use tech. I mean, the tech would be very nice to have. And then the final option is I could take something from the nobles that would give me a lot of parliament backing, and I could get a war goal and conquer Tankali. And let's see, you are a Sunni nation of a far culture. You've given me a decent amount of headache. Yeah, I think that's what I'm gonna do. I think I'll just go on the war path a little bit more. So let us fabricate a CB on Dunkali for the province with 40,000 pops. Disband the levies from the Yemeni war. Go over here. Hostile actions. Declare war with my Parliament CB. And they only have 1,000 troops. So this is a pretty open and shut case. And actually, I didn't even need to raise anybody. My vassals did all the hard work. But perhaps more importantly than my vassals doing all of the hard work, I've also saved up 500 some ducats. So I will lay down a new settlement in Debark, and after a while, that will become a major um, textile guild for me. Hopefully, I haven't played around with the new um, town charter. What do you call this? Urban rights system. Much, but I do hope that I can make something a weaving camp guild or something like that. Anyway, from Denkali, I will take everything and their money and send them on their way. I will integrate both of these provinces myself. I wish I could trust the AI to do it, but Andretta has taught me exactly why I can't. I wouldn't be offended if they converted some of the land to Miaphysitism, but they haven't exactly made effort to do that either. So we'll just clean up the rest of the Atreian coast and make sure that it stays comfortably under our boot. And with the new town of Debra, as all of them, it will get a temple. And actually, yeah, let's get a road going between it and our capital. I don't believe that, or I believe that there's already a river flowing. Yeah, we're already on a river system, so it won't do that much for control. But it will do is get some actual dev growth, I believe, by being connected via a. There is, yes, a dev growth somewhere, I don't remember where it is, that having your province or location connected to the capital via road gives. I would also like to get a road going all the way up to Axum shortly. Again, won't give much of a control bonus, but it will give a dev bonus and eventually a much more expensive and much longer southern road. And then, and maybe then, we could consider moving our capital back down south and leaving a local governor up in Aksum. Well, as I'm sure you are all very surprised here, Andretta is on its which revolt? Fourth revolt. Really feels like more. Um, Luckily, this one isn't sponsored by no, they are vassalized under Yemen. So we're about to be at war with Yemen again. I'm so looking forward to annexing this vassal. I cannot explain how excited I am to get rid of this vassal because they cannot maintain control of their own land apparently. Hopefully this is over with quickly because oh boy, they're full sieged. There's nothing else to do. You can let it go. It's okay. If when I annex this guy, that strip of land gets forced released to Yemen, I'm not going to blow a gasket, but I will be disappointed. Deeply disappointed. Okay, well, let's see here. Actually, we have three pop ups come up all at once. Anything, Retta, fantastic. We've finally annexed the very rebellion prone subject. As well, we finished our colony just over here, the second colony. And lastly, the influence of Axum will just give them the development. Thankfully, yeah, this land is mine, Annex Gibraltar. Oh, oh, you're fucking with me. Oh, wow. That's impressive. How did you do that? Huh. Well, you know what, Andretta? I guess you get the last laugh because I was gonna blow you off the face of the world, and somehow you've managed to continue to live and get in a PU with me. You're messing with me. Just get on the throne and don't be my problem. I'm gonna gut that country the second I have a chance. Um, I don't know what went wrong there, but that is hilarious how that played out. Wow. I don't actually have words. Either way, we're gonna fail this parliament debate, so it doesn't matter. So yeah, now that we have the coastline secured, I guess I'm gonna look for a bit more inland development. Another thing that I have to think about and be careful with is if I plan on moving my capital away from Lalibela, um, I'm going to lose the bonus of being on a mountain, which, as you can see from my proximity speed, if I look at something like going to Axum, um, is giving me many bonuses. Well, one of the many stacking bonuses, mostly because we get half of the negative of the normal 40% of being on a mountain. So if I was to maybe go all the way down, near here, maybe I should really throw myself all the way down into like Seru or Wedge, just so I still have the mountain bonus, so that my economic heartland can keep pumping just off of a local governor. Or do I say screw it and like, well, is there really much of a reason to build up down here? I mean, like, let's take a look at just the. Yeah, there's like 60,000 pops per. And this sparse area here can be quite nice too if you can actually get lumber. Yeah, the trick is getting lumber in. But there's gold here and there's coffee here that would be worth trying to get the value out. And there's no good market taking advantage of that. Maybe a combination of what I need to do is I pull the Axum market further south, um, deeper into the mountain range, maybe onto Debrak or even Lalibela, um, to try and split it so that it can get control up to the Eritrean coast and down into more of East Africa. And then on top of it, I can also have some of the raw RGO extraction with the sweet sweet coffee, while also actually having a economic extraction up here with all this salt and but like all these iron RGOs. Yeah, that's what I'll try and do. I'll move Oxum down. I don't know how far I would have to. Like I said, I think I'll start with Volibella. Although in practice, I'm not sure that's doing that much for me. And with my capital down here, I'll move it down to build up. Yeah, okay. Rough planning. Oh dang. Okay, the bubonic plague has shown up just much later. Um, I was confused why my population was diving. That's why. How much have we lost? Almost 150,000. Yeah. Well, I guess the plague will always come back and take its toll, won't it? That's unfortunate. Very little I can do about that. But, oof. Yeah, we're probably going to lose like 300,000 pops at this rate. That sucks. So when that funny business with Entrada happened, to get out of the PU, I assigned a family member. She has since died. So we are. Why? Or do I like you? Do you like me? Oh, one moment. She since died, so we have a Conquest CB. Anyway, once I can, I guess I'll just take the friggin' 20 stab hit and kill him. That's unfortunate, but you have to die after the headache you've caused me. I don't care if the Black Plague is rolling through. You've been a moderate annoyance, therefore die. And just like that, conquer their land, take everything. Thank you very much. Much cleaner. No more headache. Never a doubt in my mind. Of course, I do actually have to integrate it now, but neither here nor there. And no more stupid rebellions. And as we progress through the Parliament debate, we will use this for a CB on Bazin. And politely inform Bazin, who is very conveniently allied to the other two nations we need, that I now have a claim on their land and they're no longer welcome to it. And once I actually have my levies called up, we're just going to go and very gently relocate the soldiers defending it. And we click on them there. And we clean them up there. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Nope, that was tight, but we still wipe the floor with them. And now we push a little bit further inland. And once we finish up these three small countries, that will be almost all of Ethiopia. We will just be missing one teeny, teeny, tiny piece here just from Ethiopia. And then we will have secured the Ethiopian region. So I just want to make sure that we definitely lay claim to as much as possible. I don't want anyone sneaking in here and piggybacking off our wars. From Jaram, I will take all of their land and all of their money. From Nakish, I will take all of their southern land. And that's all the Ethiopian land. Let me just confirm that. Yes, beautiful. That's all the land they have in the Ethiopia area, so we will take all of their southern land. And from Bazin itself, once we finish sieging down the fort, we will take all of their land as well. And just like that, from Bazin, we will take everything and all of their money. Congratulations, Northern Ethiopia. You've been saved to new management. So yeah, they were all Sunni kingdoms with Beja culture, it seems, which is not necessarily a culture that I probably accept. I will tolerate it just to hopefully not have them rise up against me, but I won't be able to do much more than that for it. Yeah, huh. That's unfortunate. Um, so what am I to do here? Uh, for the sake of actually integrating all of this, the stuff closest to my capital, I certainly want to keep my hands on with how long vassals can take to integrate. And I think I'll create one relatively large historical subject. You know what? I might just release Jarin back up north, just like that, and concede them one piece of land. Sorry, concede them one province of land. And that way, we're all happy. Beautiful. Not necessarily perfect, but certainly serviceable. Oh my, I almost forgot. No, there is one other location that I still need to get my hands on that isn't just this area in Efot. It's also this lovely, lovely speck of land that I almost missed. Yep. Oh, yeah, you're part of the Ethiopia region. All right, well, once I get my... Can I get boats? Do I have boats? I don't have ships, do I? No, I need to build a wharf, and I can't build a wharf until I get a town. Okay, well, I need to get a town so I can get some boats together to actually take that. And finally, oh wow, wait, that's not what I was hoping to embrace. I was kind of hoping the residency. I was kind of hoping the Renaissance was going to make it all the way down, but no, we've gotten meritocracy first. In fact, we've gotten meritocracy before it's made it to India, apparently. So, oh, is it? How did it get here? Because yeah, it comes from China. I thought that it had to come through India. Unless did it come through the? Can it just spawn? I mean, I'm not going to complain. It's a new institution. I'll research things faster. It's just that's not what I was expecting. Oh, another thing, just while clicking around, I found that I can actually colonize through my subjects. So I know I won't have any control all the way down here. Oh, my. Oh, and we've just gotten a minor revolt. Well, time to put that down. But I know I won't have any control all the way down here, but I just want to do it to stop the other African powers from colonizing. And eventually I'll just kind of work my way down the coast. Okay, now that we've economically secured ourselves and are actually worried more about pushing control around, right? Because look at that. And this is all mountains. So, like, our control is doing fantastic for being right in the middle of mountains. I can start to build my favorite building, bridges, and really make sure that these mountains know what hit them. Uh, I don't care. So yeah, we can just kind of slap down just a bunch of bridges and make sure that we can kind of throw control around as much as we want. Basically all over the place. And what this is going to let us do is, well, we've stacked enough bonuses that essentially we're almost, let me see here, if I look at my proximity score, up to Axum, where is it? Come on. There it is. Okay, we've stacked up enough bonuses that we are completely negating the minus 20 of the mountains because we, of course, have our capital in mountains and are almost to a plus. A plus what? 63? We're like 63 in the positive, 63% in the positive, and then it's multiplying this, right? Oh, or no, it gives me the nice number right there. I'm so stupid. Um, Point being, we're doing really good at pushing proximity speed, and bridges are only helping it. And those bridges are just going to raise our control further, so all these mountains can hit something like almost 90. And then once they're all hitting almost 90, we can see, again, look at that beautiful, beautiful green blob growing in the center of Ethiopia. It's to the point now where I'm actually going to worry about laying down some proper military units. That's right. Like Sawa? Sawa? Is that it? I don't know. But laying down some proper military units and probably going on the warpath because we can afford it. Unlike those archers at the start of the game that we couldn't hope to afford. Oh my, I almost missed that little Damat was in the Ethiopia region. So let me just get this CB on Damat and encourage them. Oh, you are allied to my tributary. That's no biggie. We'll just explain to you very carefully what your position is going to be in the Ethiopian Empire and why it ends up with you on the bottom of the pile. So it's just a simple matter of right click, declare war, Parliament approved claims. A little bit expensive on the stab, but you know, c'est la vie. And away we go on the two of them. And they really shouldn't be able to do anything to stop me. Wonderful. Yeah, that was a pretty open and shut war. So from Aranara, I will take all of their land and all of their money and send them on their way. And from Damat, I will do something very similar and conveniently send you on. Ooh, there's 3 provinces here. I could assign a vassal to this and have them take care of it all. Do I want to go through the effort of that and how long they'll take to integrate? I really can't project control all the way down here easily. It's far from my empire. What are the RGOs? Coffee, sturdy grain, livestock. They're valuable RGOs. And my proximity, on a month tick, it'll tell me if I can actually reach it. Let me just see here. No, I can reach it somewhat, and if I get some more bridges, I'll be able to reach it actually properly. Or not bridges, sorry. Some more roads, because my road network isn't that far south yet. So yeah, I will keep it for myself. I'll just start integrating it. And slowly but surely, it'll be appreciative it was brought under the fold. It also means I can... Ooh, yeah, it's a little bit expensive, but we'll also start colonizing here, which should be the other half of the Ethiopia region. Yes. So now there's only two things that I'm missing, and nothing else that I'm missing, and no way I forgot anything else. It's just this tile, or this area owned by EFOT, and this island that I still can't forget. What have we done here? I'm sorry, I just had this event pop up requesting artisans. Although the Amhara culture has led to many great projects in Ethiopia, sometimes asking for outside help is needed. The court has suggested we request artisans from Byzantium. So we can hurt our own culture. We will 250 plus will migrate from Laconia to Latassa, which isn't even in our land. I'm assuming they mean the region, for the next 12 months. Byzantium must accept for it to happen. The Greek culture gets buffed, and we will get a Roman history, again, moving to our capital, and Byzantium might refuse, or we can just buff our culture a little bit. If it was anyone besides the Greeks, I'd say no, but now I'm just curious. So if I look at my capital, do I have a Roman history? Come on, Byzantium. Send me your finest Greeks. Devastating. I don't think they took me up on it. Can't blame them. But I won't lie if I say I'm a little disappointed. Oh wow. The Ottomans are actually doing something in this game. I mean, they don't have Constantinople, and I don't think they're going to. But no, they've actually pushed a little, which is nice to see as a change of pace. On a slightly different note, though, we're going to drop a town on Obak and use this to build up a wharf and a dock and actually start to have a navy. I also want to build a road all the way down to Gambo, as I think that's where I'm going to move my capital to after I get a local governor up in Oxford. Just to kind of push control a little further south and make use of some of this a little bit more. Inch by bloody inch. Alrighty, now we do the very important step of setting down a local governor in Oxum. This is going to be quite expensive with a decent amount of upkeep, but that 80 proximity source is fantastic. And because it's right on the north of all these mountains, it'll basically push really good control up into this air train area and have decent control down into these mountains. And when I actually move my capital down all the way to Gambo, we'll kind of basically share the load of covering the mountains. So all of the towns I built up here that have temples will still actually push value, and the rivers will help get value up into them. And I'll actually be able to extract some value out of the south, because you can see there is no proximity to the capital happening down there at all. Okay, whoa. I could buy. Although we have been in conflict with the Muslim countries many times, it does not mean we are not able to learn from them. One rare invention of theirs, the NAFT, has caught the interest of our court. They now wish to employ advisors from Maldives that will teach us the secret along with how to use it in our armies. And we can elect NAFT throwers. NAFT throwers who, using the secret of Greek fire, these NAFT throwers throw incendiary grenades at the enemy, using that element in order not only to burn their opponents, but to sow confusion and panics in the ranks. They mainly serve to scare the enemy rather than kill. Which, on the one hand, cool, Greek fire throwers. On the other hand, that's 1,100 ducats. As nice as that very niche unit would be. No, however, on top of all of that, how the fuck do the Maldives know the secret of Greek fire? What are you hiding there? Because I'm pretty sure the secret to Greek fire was lost a while ago. Oh boy, speaking of lost a while ago, what the hell is happening there, Byzantium? But yeah, let's play the better news. Let's get professional armies. Now, to do something kind of silly, hopefully a single cog is enough to get away with this. We're just going to go and deck on Dalok with our Parliament claims. Unfortunately, my cog can only carry 250 troops. So we're just going to raise up a couple smaller levies. And we're essentially going to have to march them in. Oh, he's getting mercenary navies. Okay, that's what I was worried about. Okay, well, in that note, I can get mercenary navies too, can't I? Yes, I can. Are you all cogs? Yeah? Fantastic. I'll get my own mercenary navy, and my mercenary navy will out mercenary navy your mercenary navy. Are we gonna have the stupidest naval battle you've ever seen? With just cogs slapping one another? You better believe it. Oh, my vassal actually made the landing before I did and wiped him before I could. Alrighty, well, almost everybody go home. Give me like, wonderful. And just like that, cleaned up the war very easily. I mean, not that the one island with 3,000 people on it was going to put up a whole lot of resistance, but it didn't. And we'll just rip down that barricade, send everybody back home, and detach the mercs and send them home too. Alrighty, so I have taken some care. We now have a road system running all the way across our country. It's very expensive getting it through those mountains, but hey, you know, needs to be done. We have started to build up Gambo. I'm currently turning it into a town, and of course we're going to charge them. I'm currently turning it into a town. I've put a castle on it, so I'm going to move my capital down there once it's finished becoming a town. And then we're in the home stretch, and I'm going to prepare for the penultimate war against Efat. Efat, I mean, they stand alone. They are in a PU with the guys on the tip of the horn, but they really shouldn't be able to do much against me. Yeah, I'm not the strongest country around me, but nobody around me could invade me. I mean, Yemen can't get across the Red Sea. Alodia, technically they're bigger than me, but they would bleed on the mountains and not be able to make it. So it's we're quite secure. We're certainly the power of our region and uncontested going down the coast of Africa. If I actually wanted to move up towards the Mamluk Sultanate, that would be a little bit more difficult. And I could definitely see myself going for these Nubian cities of Soba and Dongola, but I'm not desperate to. So I suppose what I'm saying is, give me that sweet, sweet Parliament CB of Mora. We're not going to deck just this second. It's just good to have. We'll lay down another Kawa unit. Having 1,000 heavy infantry should be more than enough to put down their peasants. Plus the fact we're going to outnumber them. Plus all of our own units. Yeah, it'll be a pretty easy cleanup. You know what? Let us move our capital over. Where is it? Move capital to Gambo. A little bit expensive on the stab, but in half a year we'll be further south. Oh man, and just look at our wealth and tax base. I believe we started with like 14 total wealth, and in basically 100 years, we've 10x'd everything. You know, we're no Mamluks, but we're certainly the economic power of our region. Yeah, there you go. That's something I can hang my hat on. And as we actually push out into people, you know, because the first 100 years are pretty much consolidation. As we actually start to rub against the powers around us, that's when we get to have a real shows of strength. With our capital in Gambo, we can also see, oh, on the month tick, that we are spreading control that much more evenly across our kingdom. And while yes, we are sacrificing a little bit of perspective control in the mountains, that's why we have the local governor in Aksum. The value that we're getting by opening up access to this coffee, I really believe is worth it. I'm half tempted to move the Axum market south to like La Bella just to make this actually accessible because this is terrible market access. Like it's essentially zero out here, which is a real shame. But because like if I build anything in Gambo, it really doesn't create value. Besides a bridge, of course, everybody knows bridges make money. But no, all of the buildings out here are essentially worthless. But that coffee, oh boy. Anyway, enough prattling on. It's time to go pay EFOD a piece of our mind with our parliament approved claims. Oh, take a battle. We are down, but no. Oh my. Oh wow. Yeah. Is does this did that unit have any kawa in it? It did have a kawa. Okay, the kawa hit hard. Hit like a brick shithouse apparently. And just like that, EFOT is pretty well out of there. Um, I think we might take more than just the one tile we were after. Alrighty, and just like that, we've already made it to 100% war score, so we will just be taking. Oh my. Yeah, huh. Wow, we can just take chunks out of you, huh? Well, I don't want a massive coalition, so we won't do that much. We'll just take those three chunks and 150 war score and some more reps, and we'll be back for the rest of you in a minute after we've actually, digested our conquests here. And perhaps more importantly, that does mean that we have united the Ethiopian region. Yes, I do have some subjects in it, but they are, essentially parts of me. Listen, even a one area minor takes like 20 years to annex with the new meta. Still learning, not gonna bother integrating them. Um, so let me core up this land or set this land to integrate and fix up the nation a little bit and yeah, just make sure that we're actually stable and this isn't just all a foe. Alrighty. Unfortunately, this is where I have to call it if I want to actually get this put together and ready for you guys all on time. I say guys and girls, but uh, don't worry. The YouTube statistics tells me that calling you all guys isn't gonna get me in trouble. So let's take a look back at Ethiopia and see what we've accomplished. Well, from a small little rump state, well, not rump state, but from a very minor or very regional power, we pretty well conquered and expanded in every direction around us. We've actually gotten to the coast. We've cored and integrated a lot of our land. You can see we're working on the various cultures. This is still a hot mess. This would take me slightly longer to sort out, but nobody is very upset yet. If I was to take steps going forward with the cultures here, I would basically just accept Somalian, accept Nubian, and accept Amhara, and convert everybody into one of those three. Amhara is already the strongest culture in the area with a bunch of tradition and a bunch of influence. If you look at something like Ganga, it has none. Ranja has none. Harla has none. Farah has none. They're all very quick to convert. It's just a matter of setting a cabinet member there to do it, which I've been mainly using my cabinet members to integrate. Not that having this land integrated has been much of a problem. Our economy has grown so far. The only reason you're seeing a dip there is because the stability went down quite low while I was doing some like cleanup wars, as you saw. Trade wise, nothing too crazy is happening. It's not been long enough for me to get anything very interesting happening. I think with the coffee that we have in the south, there's the opportunity for it, but I just haven't quite gotten there yet. And religiously, again, not that much has happened. We certainly would get into some interesting positions with how much Sunni land and how isolated we are well, I mean, Miaphysite is quite an isolated religion, right? You have very weak friends, possibly all the way up in Anatolia. But I'll be honest, I just don't want to play the last game I had as Kilwa again as Ethiopia, because this Ethiopia game would involve either going south and building a power base in Africa, and then turning north and cleaning up in Egypt, which, I mean, if you want to have a massive power base in EU5, the name of the game is just somehow get your country into the Nile Delta and you will print money within 100 years. It's just the stat check of if you can take over Egypt. That is the way to cheese the game if you want to. There are other ways to do it, but that's definitely the square peg in a round hole. Yemen could have challenged me. They just never actually got up to they never got a boat over. Really, I'm very lucky when I was having all of those vassal related issues in Eritrea that Yemen never decided to make the cross. That Yemen never decided to make it across the Red Sea. So yeah, that is Ethiopia. If you really want a part two, shout down in the comments. If I see like 250 likes, I can do a part two. Otherwise, if you have a run that you want to see, just like this one, it came from a list, so put your suggestions in the comments. I'm going to start pulling from them as we get up to 500, and when we get to 500, there's one that's been sitting on the list for a long time coming. And you've all heard me talk about it enough to know what it is. So, until next time, thank you for your eyes, ears, and time. This is Brown Dog 2, signing off.